Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Objective. And today is a very festive day. It's the best of the year 2022 so far. We know the next couple of weeks could be full of events and stuff like that, but some of that's going to have to carry over into next year, I suppose. We're going to be talking about, we got a number of categories here. We're going to get into it. Please welcome my co-hosts and leave a like, by the way. Welcome to the new member, I should say, first and foremost, Nick Bruno. Welcome to the channel. Hit that join button to become a member. And we are here with two guys who, well, really, the fact they're not the winner of every single category here is an injustice, if I could express my own opinion. We got a guy who he's wearing a baseball cap. He's wearing a ring and glasses. Looks like he's about to go teach some New Jersey TV producer a lesson. It's Mark Pellegrino.
What's up, Rucka?
What's up? And we got a guy who he's from the country that certainly did not invent Christmas, but they very well may have given us the mythology of Jesus with a little bit of help from the Hebrews. It's Nikos Sotirakopoulos.
And also we gave you voting, and today the audience can vote. So let's go and see who are the objectivists of the year.
All right. Let's do that. And Regina with €3. Thank you for getting us started. Today's a fundraising show, by the way. If you are have any money whatsoever to your name, please super chat us now and support this network as the year winds down. We got holiday expenses around here. All right. So should we go in the order of the categories, you guys think? It's or
start with the top objectivists of the year, and then you can mix them up.
Okay. So the first category is top objectivist of the year. Now, Mark, I believe you had someone you've already told us before we went live. Would you like to announce that?
Sure. For me, it's Alex Epstein. I think more than any objectivist out there, I could be wrong. Maybe Nikos knows somebody who's a little more influential than him. I think he has influenced the energy conversation pretty much more than anybody out there. You know, you're doing damage to the left when your words, your lexicon starts finding its way into the conversation on a regular basis. And I'm hearing human thriving. I'm hearing his standard of what is a good humanistic energy policy starting to come forward now. It's starting to actually shift things, I think, in the world and in the way that people look at energy policy. It's palpable, it's perceptible. I think since Rand or maybe Peikoff, I haven't seen an objectivist influence culture on that wide a scale to date. I could be wrong. Nikos, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, it's Alex Epstein.
He definitely had a great year. So my vote goes to Yaron Brook. Why? Mostly for his coverage of the Ukraine war. So what he did with the Ukraine war from early on was something which is quite difficult. Not many people have the combination of the technical knowledge of how a war takes place and the philosophical insight to provide an overview of the war. So particularly in the early days, I remember logging into the Yaron Brook show, and listening to what he has to say. Also, whether it's the war or the FTX scandal or any topic, he can talk about anything. And we need that. We're not there. I'm definitely not there yet. So I learned from Yaron. Also, I had the good luck to shadow him in one of his tours. And then in some other occasions, we were together somewhere where we both had to talk. And I learned a lot. And I made a whole LinkedIn post about my takeaways from touring with Yaron Brook. But this is for an episode where I give my biggest lessons from 2022. So my vote goes to Yaron.
Oh, those are some great candidates. Yeah, I think the fact that environmental dogmatism is not completely prevalent might very well be the result of Epstein's book and his work. So the fact that a lot of these centrist types, people like Lex Fridman, they're not exactly on the right nor the left, but they're also not swallowing the environmentalist pill. There's a good chance that's because of Alex Epstein. I mean, it's you can never really know exactly what might have been in a different timeline, but there's a very good chance, in my estimation of things, that that's the result of his work. So yeah, and of course, Yaron Brook. I mean, if someone were to parody a Objectivist podcast awards show, they would just have, and the winner is Yaron Brook for every category because he's everybody's favorite. Over in the chat room, we got Roland with 249 saying hero of the year, Zelensky. And Jeff Bannister with $50 Canadian. Okay, let me put it another way. Jeff with $50 Canadian. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate the support. Jonathan Honig with $199 American. I think that's worth more or less $50 Canadian. I'm kidding. He says, well, game over. He sent over an interesting sticker. Marilyn with $4. She's definitely should win an award or two. She sent over $4. Thank you. And then she sent another $5 saying hype. Thank you for that. All right. Oh, my, I guess, top objectivist of the year. You know what? This is a little bit inside baseball. I think Nikos Sotirakopoulos had a really good year. Is this the year you began working at ARI and you quit your job in the belly of the beast?
Yes, it's the year I went full time. So thank you for the vote. Okay, I won't make the modesty thing, but I had a good year, but not Alex or Yaron level good year. But thank you. This means a lot.
Well, maybe you can be like the Eddie Willers of the objectivist scene, but you know, you're one of our guys here on the podcast. So
so I'll be the invisible friend-zoned guy. Okay, good.
Exactly right. You're all of our friend. And Kiana Pellegrino with $2. Thank you for that. Wow, a lot of greenery, a lot of colors lighting up. This feels like Christmas, these super chats. All right, it's like looking at a Christmas tree. All right, I guess we can jump over to most important development in objectivism this year. Do you guys have a candidate in mind?
Yes. So last year I voted for the Ayn Rand University. This year, I'm voting for Don Watkins returning officially to the Ayn Rand Institute with a role. Now, his role is as a coach for ARU personnel and students. If it was up to me, his role would be the Caesar of everything in the objectivist movement. But as I said, Don is the biggest asset for me of the movement. So I'm really glad that ARI got him back on board. He understands communication. He's such a good communicator himself, but his understanding of communication is such that he's the coach of all of us. So for me, again, this is an insider's episode. It might not mean much to the average guy in the pub, but that Don is on board makes me very optimistic about the future.
Well, that's nice.
And as I said in the past, he is Daryl Morey of Objectivist. Daryl Morey is the guy who, with advanced statistics, changed basketball. He saw the game in a different way, and this is how I envision Don's role in the battle of ideas. Not the festival, the battle of ideas out there.
Most important development in objectivism this year. Mark, any idea? Have you had a chance to think about this?
Yeah, I haven't, but I'll just go off the cuff. I think our baby steps into the culture, first with Don Watkins, great work of fiction. I think everybody should read it. And also, dynamic young millennials who are coming into our culture and want to influence it, like Jennifer Miguel. She came up with that great little short, 20th Century Motor Company, which I think everybody should see, animated short. I think my reality checks and Rucka, your stuff out there is making movement in the culture, and that's where we need to be right now. So I say that's our most important contribution going forward, is our wedge into the culture that we're driving.
All right. I guess I've got to think of something. Most important development in objectivism this year. Important does not mean good. So I think a significant development is the Daily Wire stepping on the toes of a good project, which is probably way better. The Strike, featuring Mark Pellegrino and more. So yeah, it's an important development. Yeah. So it's an important development, I guess, if I had to name something. That was not one of the things you guys mentioned. So, it sucks in my opinion, and it definitely impedes upon the development of something else, but it's important nonetheless. I think we spoke about it on multiple episodes here. All right. Best daily objectives of the year. Ooh, now that's
okay. 3 categories: solos,
Well,
daily objectives that I was.
Aren't we missing what we won't miss from this
Well,
year?
I'm jumping around with the order a bit.
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
random order.
Oh, random order. Okay, copy that.
Okay, so from daily objectives that I was not there, Rucka's on Tate, and I'm not putting marks on the strike on the day they got Daily Wire got the rights, but check this out in the brief objective. So episodes I was not there. Check out Rucka's with the one on Tate. Episodes that I did solo, I really liked the Understanding Evil series, the 2 on Stalin and the 1 on Iran. So I'm very happy on how they went. And on episodes that I had the guest from the Objectivist movement, the one with Lisa on whether La La Land has a happy ending. It was an unusual episode, so more of that. I'd like to see this type of stuff.
Any idea? Anything you recall, Mark?
No.
Okay. So I'm scrolling through some of the videos, some of the live streams from this year. I see there was one called Justice for Kanye. There's a title that did not age well. I'm guessing if I had to recall, it was probably a nuanced view of what was going on at that time. But yeah. So we had a lot of. There's one about is eating a sport. There was one, Jonathan Honig's views on fashion. There was just so much to pick from. But you know what? I'm just gonna say Nikos's conversation with the critic of Ayn Rand. Now there's something cool.
Oh, this also gets a reward from me, but in a different category. But let's go on.
And on behalf of Mark Pellegrino, I'm going to choose episode 526. Is Elon the new PewDiePie? There you go. There's your entry, Mark. Is that okay? Is that okay with you?
I'll take that. Sure. It sounds good.
All right. Vote for Mark's nomination because I think that was a solo episode I did. All right. What we won't miss from this year? Anything specific to this year?
Yeah. So this is what did not go well this year. So what I think did not go well this year or any year is this lack of urgency that there is in the movement. I don't like this idea that, well, culture is going to change very slowly, so maybe after 50 years we can think about it. No, we should do our best. We should learn from other movements. Lately, I've been obsessed with why Stoicism has become so popular. So I'm trying to understand what Ryan Holiday and other Stoics are doing well. And I would like to see more of that. Let's not be complacent. Oh, we have some episodes have 1,000 views. No, why not 100,000 views? Why is it that ideas that are not as good as our ideas are more popular? So the thing I don't want to see in 2023 is this complacency, it's good enough.
Okay.
This is just with respect to the objectivist movement, just not what we won't miss in general. Is this just within objectivism?
It could be anything.
It's somehow related to objectivism, yes.
Or not. Who made these rules? Huh?
Well, we cannot say we hope cancer is cured because it's the Objectivist Award.
The category is not what you hope to see in 2023. The category is things you won't miss about this year. You won't miss from this year. I don't see why that should be only related to objectivists.
Yeah, sorry to spoil it to you people, but you're also going to do a year in review thing at some point, I think. So then you're going to run out of things if you say them.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. The communication and preparation is, maybe that's something I won't miss from this year. But okay, so objectivist movement related. What will you not miss from this year? I will not miss the alt-right conspiracy scumbags that populate Yaron Brooks' chat room, but I imagine they'll still be there next year as well. But it's absolutely, first of all, on a framed positively, I admire his ability to just take the abuse from them every day. I'm sure the displays of support he gets help alleviate the pain, but good Lord, some of these people that are running their mouth, they're just so ugly inside and out. I just don't know how these people go through life just knowing they offer nothing positive to the people around them. All they have is a conspiratorial explanation, and they never met a conspiracy theory they didn't like, and they never met a dictator they didn't like. It's just So that those people can all burn in hell, but that, hey, welcome to the internet.
Yeah, the woke and the anti-woke are alike horrible, and I will not miss the woke running Twitter.
Okay, Twitter's a big one. Not sure if that's a category. Well, we will get to Twitter. Okay, should we?
That's
now
a good entry for the Twitter category.
Yes, and our next category is favorite objectivist on Twitter.
My favorite objectivist on Twitter is
Mark
Kirk
Pellegrino.
Wilcox, a guy who I've never met. Here's why. He understands Twitter. He posts consistently. He's funny with the memes. And turns out he has a channel, which unfortunately I haven't got the time to follow closely. But a couple of videos that I've followed, particularly the one on Iran, was actually deep, and he puts a lot of work. So give him a follow, although he doesn't need it. He probably has more followers than I do. Honorable mention to Mark Pellegrino, who is the most generous and benevolent objectivist on Twitter. He amplifies other voices. He amplifies smaller voices of objectivism on Twitter. So, Mark, thank you. Your Twitter presence is very important for us.
Okay.
Well, you nominated Kirk last year, didn't you? So
yes, but and unfortunately, Don Watkins is not so active on Twitter this year. So this year, Kirk wins easily.
Yeah.
What's his name? Kirk Wilcox?
Wilcox, yeah. Now, I actually got my Twitter account back, so I guess I would nominate myself, although I've not really posted a lot of objectivist content since returning. I've sort of kind of gotten back to my roots of my entertainment brand.
Were you banned?
Yeah. I was banned for like a year or two. Yeah. Time flies. Huh?
So this is the fruits of Elon Musk's labor. So
there's a good chance, although there's a good chance it's when he kind of returned that I applied to get it back and they gave it back. So there's a good chance it's because of the new way of running things, but it was not like him personally. I don't think there's no evidence of that, but yeah, definitely. So the sort of double-edged sword of Elon buying Twitter is a lot of people got their accounts back who were like unfairly suspended. But the opposite side is that certainly, debatably, Twitter is never really going to be very cool or very good moving forward. It's kind of, in my opinion, it's already become way lamer. And just the loudest people on there are people who kill culture with their presence. So we'll see what happens. Hey, look, I can't call it.
I'm not having that response, but maybe.
Enjoy it. Well, congratulations on getting Twitter. Getting Twitter the way it ought to be. Nathan with $20 says, "Love the channel. Thank you all." Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you. Do we have results to the? So shall we read the results of the polls at the end of all the categories?
Yes,
so at the end, let's leave 5 minutes to see how the audience voted.
Yes, at the end. Marilyn with $5 says, "Alex, Yaron, Nikos, Don, all amazing. They help me feel better about the future." And then Marilyn with $10 more. Thank you for that. Okay, so what was this category? Favorite Twitter. So I nominated myself. Nikos nominated Kirk with honorable mention to Mark. Mark, anyone on Twitter who's an objectivist that you follow and appreciate?
Well, I mean, I was going to say me or you.
Well, you can be you because I'm already nominated and Nikos mentioned you honorably. So you can just, you can vote for yourself or nominate yourself.
I'm voting for me, but I'm also voting for you. Honorable mention.
Thank you. Favorite objectivist of the year. And that was favorite objectivist of the year. And you can vote in the chat. All right. Most interesting / memorable thing we learned this year. And I guess it should be like related to objectivism in some way. Is that the idea?
Yes. So for me, the biggest lesson I learned is less is more. I'm trying to do my daily objective sorters, my new idea live sorters. And I started a YouTube channel expecting that I would post videos like the solos in daily objective. I've ended up posting almost only shorts. So my biggest lesson is delimit. Don't use too many words if you can use fewer words. As the ancient Greeks say, to lakonizin esti philosophin. It's wise to be short.
Anything
yes,
you...
Brevity is the soul of wit, my friend. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything specifically objectivist that is the most memorable thing I've
But
ever.
no, memorable, a lesson you got as a communicator, let's say, in service of objectivism or whatever.
Definitely conceptual economy is always something that I'm striving for. Saying the most in the least amount of time and in the most powerful way possible is definitely takes probably a lifetime to learn, but it's certainly something I'm always trying to integrate into my stuff. That's a good one to learn.
I think I learned from, we had Jason Rines here a bunch. And I learned, among many things, that like the myths of ancient, they had like earlier versions of those. And if you kind of trace it back far enough, like let's say Prometheus and the Hebrew Jewish God like might have like a common ancestor or something like that. Like they end up blending together. So like the God who gave us fire might be the same God who created the world according to the Old Testament, if you sort of trace their influences and their incarnations back far enough. So that was something I learned that was interesting. All right. Okay. And why don't we jump over to favorite objectivist of the year? Not to be mistaken for top objectivist of the year. This is just favorite.
Favorite objectivist or guest?
Objectivist, according to the notes.
Yeah, that's two different categories. So let's start with favorite objectivist. Why don't we start with Mark? Because I realized I confused it with the top objectivist, so I haven't got an answer on the top of my head.
I can go if you got nothing.
Go ahead. Since you haven't gone first, I'll let you go.
So Greg Salmieri is underappreciated. He started a podcast with the Salem Center that is on YouTube. Salem Center on YouTube, I guess, is how to find that. They're doing podcasts. They're in Austin. They're they're doing great stuff. He has guests who are obviously going to be pretty knowledgeable. So it's good stuff. So let's give him the nomination, I say.
One thing about Greg Salmieri, what many people don't understand is how young he has been. He still is, but how young he has been when he did very significant things. So he edited the companion to Ayn Rand when he was younger than I am at the moment. So he's a bit like Mbappe of objectivism. He has done a lot of things in a very young age that it's quite motivating in terms of seeing, I need to do more.
That is amazing.
He's definitely in one of my categories as top objectivist and undervalued in my opinion, because he's a great communicator in his own right, and he makes hard philosophy sound easy. But Don Watkins is up there for me. I think he's my favorite objectivist because he's making headway in the culture. He's an amazing communicator. He cuts right down to the quick of pretty much everything. I love having him as a guest. I love when he's on these panels, just to see the way he can get right to the heart of a matter is admirable. So I nominate Don.
Okay, I see in the list that I also have Don. Turns out I had voted in this, and I see three reasons. Biggest asset, I've already said this. His Ocon talk. His Ocon talk on communication was my highlight in this year's Ocon, obviously besides my talk. So people should watch this every time they're about to create content, how not to be boring. And also I'm lucky enough that he's my coach, for a lack of a better word, in ARI. He's my mentor, official mentor and unofficial. So yeah, he has been my favorite objectivist for the year. When it comes to favorite in the objectivist movement, a heartfelt thank you goes to all the super chatters, particularly, of course, to Maria-Len. She was there in the big conferences. She was there to support us always. I know objectivists don't like the term humble, but how to put it? Always, okay, reverence. Humble in a good way. So, you tell her, thank you so much for everything. It's like, okay. So always a trader, maybe, because I know some objectivists get triggered with the term humble. But Marilyn, thank you very much. Know that what you're doing is very much appreciated and never taken for granted.
Yes, and speaking of super chat, Ashley with 199 says favorite objectivist, Mark Pellegrino. And then Marilyn with $5 says Rucka is becoming a serious objectivist intellectual. Impressive. Wow, who's this Rucka guy? Then Marilyn with $2 more says, no, don't make me choose between Greg and Don. I'm afraid you must. All right. All right.
Could we have a category coolest beard in objectivism?
Well, you're giving Nikos a run for his money with this.
Thing you Don's up there too. Don's got that bush going, but you've got the most well-groomed, interesting beard, Nikos.
Well, lately I spoke to Jonathan Honig on the show, and he's got this. It's more than a 5 o'clock shadow lately. It's the guy is hot. The man is hot. Seth with $5 says Objectivist of the Year, Razi, the man behind the scene who makes this kind of magic happen. And then Eric with $4.99 says favorite, Tal Safani, for the difference he's made expanding professionally objectivism.
You know what? We should have said that. We should have talked about Tal, because since he's been the CEO of Ayn Rand Institute, I feel like it has undergone great change and has expanded pretty amazingly. I mean, just in the short time he's had control of it, it's doing some pretty great things. So yeah, we should say a special hats off to Tal.
We voted for Tal, though. He featured last year because he featured both for the Ayn Rand University and for the happiness team. One thing on Razi, the fact that his wedding was this international objectivist event where people came from all over the world is a testament to his position in the objectivist movement. And it's not a secret because I posted a photo on him on Twitter, so all the ladies already know that he's taken.
Yeah, but until just now, some people assumed you and him were the ones getting married. And that's not a joke, right? People were tweeting that. Joni Spinoza has been a member for 3 months, and he says, I found this channel through James Valiant. Well, that's nice. All right. Best new entry is the next category, right? I don't even know what that means.
It means Rookie of the Year, as they say in the NBA. So Rookie of the Year is Jonathan Down. So he's an Israeli activist. You see him once, you don't forget him, and not only because of the way he dresses. He's also the activist coordinator for ARI Europe. It's a new recruit, and he's the reason why I can travel and give talks, because he's very active in booking me and Yaron speaking gigs. So at the moment, he's more at the level of the activist / organizer, but he's only 20. So there's a lot of future for him. Also, I couldn't remember if Daniel was hired this year or the previous year, our producer. So you will see great thumbnails, great ideas this year. Okay, so Daniel, then they shared the victory. He was there in the United States in Ocon. He's behind the scenes always, and we never had the problem. He sends me a calendar link with the link. So he's very professional and he takes it seriously. So Daniel is the 50% Rookie of the Year. Jonathan 50%. They share the prize.
Way to go, Daniel. Way to go.
Yeah. So what's your nomination? Which one is it, Nikos?
Jonathan and Daniel.
You can't. Okay, fine.
Yeah, you can tie.
All right,
but
Mark,
because Daniel was featured last year when I talked about accountability partnerships as one of the big insights of the year, if I have to pick one, because Daniel, technically he's not a new entry because he was around last year, I will vote for Jonathan, but I would encourage you to put also Daniel on the poll, because why not? He could win the award.
So I'm gonna nominate a group of people under this, and those are the people on Twitter who have just been introduced to objectivism over the last year and are starting to come into it as a philosophy. They have stimulating conversations online. They keep the philosophy alive in their own way. They're all over the world. They're in Portugal. They're in Germany. They're in Italy. They're everywhere, and we're making headroads in the culture with them. So I want to nominate them as best new entries. All of you folks on Twitter that are doing it.
That's right. I guess, and this sort of ties to the praises sung of Tal and ARI. Like, they've got more people than ever studying at the ARU, going through that impossible training program, and some selected to proceed to the next level. So if you watch like the ARI podcast, they've got like some new faces there. So like Mike Mazza, maybe let's nominate him. Mazza, like mozzarella. Good to finally get some Italians. It's nothing but Jews and Greeks around here. Am I right?
Yeah, but Mike is not. He gave a talk at Ocon 2021, so he's not really a new kid on the block.
Okay, then. Well, then I will nominate. Okay. I don't know who else showed up this year. It's and okay, you selected two, Nico. So one of those is mine.
Okay, so sound? Daniel and Jonathan and the Twitter community around Mark, who are newbies in Objectivism.
Especially Lou, I want to give a shout out to Lou because I think she's going to do big things in the Objectivist community. Go, Lou.
That's right.
Also a person who I appreciate how she's there in the big events. I've seen her at least in 3 events this year. And thank you, Lou, as well.
Okay, and next we have, by the way, Bonnie with 149. Thank you for that. Were you about to interrupt, Nikos? Okay.
Uncharacteristically, no.
Next up, we've got our favorite guest.
My favorite guest was Paul Sider, the guy who is not an objectivist, but he's a reasonable person who disagrees with Ayn Rand. So keep in mind that Paul Sider is writing for a progressive, let's say, publication, and he name drops Ayn Rand sympathetically quite often. And you have to understand that in his circles, this is something very, very difficult. So the fact that he's honest and the fact that we had a civilized discussion we have a long discussion makes me appreciate him. Also on Twitter, he's civil, and we have a similar quote intellectual enemies. He writes some interesting things about, recently he wrote about the growth, and the milieu around him have written some interesting things against the reactionary right. So I would say he's my favorite guest this year.
Wow.
It has to be a guest, not a co-host. So you are not.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Well, this person I think has been a guest and a co-host. The person I was thinking was James Valiant.
Technically, he's a guest because he's not on one of the regular co-hosts. So it's approved, his entry.
Okay, good. So I like working with him a lot. I like having conversations with him. Love his energy, love his sense of life, love his command of whatever topic we happen to have him on for. He gets my vote. James, kick ass.
I'll vote for the House of Lords Baroness that I interviewed in England. What's her name? Claire Fox.
And we had her more than once. We had her also on the episode on the Battle of Ideas on how it changed my life. And Rucka, you were with her in London. So the third entry is Baroness Claire Fox.
That's right. All right. And those are all the categories I have here. So thank you for all of your nominations. Do we have the election results in? And speaking of the dumpster fire that Twitter is becoming and has become, everyone responding to Elon Musk's little poll about should I step down as CEO, everyone from Donald Trump Jr. to just you name the right-wing voice. They were like, oh, let me guess, they're going to find 80 million votes at the last minute. And all I can say is, yes, keep saying that. Keep on harping that allegation over and over again that the elections are stolen. Just keep saying that. That's all I ask, because I am very happy to see how the American people vote the more they hear that kind of rhetoric from some of these people. All right. Should we read the results? I've got them in front of me.
Yes.
All right. Coming in allegedly with the vote count being correct. Third place is Yaron Brook. This is for top objectivist of the year.
Oh, really?
Third place. Hey, third is good. Third is good.
Bronze. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, that's because at second place is Nikos Sotirakopoulos.
Yes.
And first place is Alex Epstein.
Yeah.
Jumping over to the super chat, Marilyn with $5 says, it's always great to talk to someone who is intellectually honest. Also rare. And ain't it the truth? All right, next up, we've got most important developments in objectivism this year. And in third place, the Daily Wire getting rights to Atlas Shrugged. That's third place. Hey, congratulations to me. That was my nomination. Second place is Don Watkins returning to ARI. There you go. There's a development. And at first place, it's Objectivism moving the culture. Wow, Mark is killing it over here. He's winning every single category.
I've fixed the results. You know that. This is a tainted election.
This is more
I
like
voted for the worst part of the year, that we don't move fast enough, and our audience thinks that the best thing of the year is that we are moving fast enough.
Exactly right.
Well,
right.
just because we're making headway in the culture doesn't mean we're moving fast enough, but we're starting.
Next up, it's the best daily objectives of the year. At 0 votes, we've got, is Elon the new PewDiePie? Sorry, Mark. You know, I know you were feeling like it's a night at the Golden Globes up until now. You were winning everything. Now you are last place.
I basically, that was your suggestion, and I just adopted it. So you gotta take some for that too.
I will. Also, the next one that got 0 votes is Rucka on Andrew Tate. So sorry, Nikos, your nomination got 0 votes.
Okay, maybe it's because Rucka, I think he did 2 episodes on Tate. The last one. Go check the last one. Trust me, it's a good episode.
I'm sure that's exactly what the misunderstanding was. Otherwise, it would have won. And then at third place with some votes, namely 1 vote, we've got, does La La Land have a happy ending? And I'm going to keep moving before I say something inappropriate. Then at second place, it's conversation with a critique of Ayn Rand. A critic, excuse me, spelled like critique. Maybe it's an America versus Europe thing, but critic is spelled with a C at the end where I come from.
True.
Conversation with a critic of Ayn Rand. Or maybe it's a, Eastern European producer thing, and he, needs to be severely reprimanded for this. Dock his pay. Then at first place, we've got Understanding Evil series, and that's Nikos Sotirakopoulos.
Thank you. I didn't even vote myself, but thank you.
All right. And then next up, we've got the category What We Won't Miss from this year of objectivism. And there's only 2 things here. I don't remember if all 3 of us came up with something, but at second place with 1 vote, it's lack of urgency. So Nikos, congratulations. 1 person somewhere.
I'm the only grumpy, me +1.
Yeah. And then at first place by a enormous landslide, it's the alt-right conspiracies in objectivism. Okay, that again, I think this is a Eastern European producer phrasing here. What I said is the alt-right adjacent commenters in your Ron Brooks chat room. That is not the same as conspiracies within objectivism. Objectivism does not contain conspiracies. It's a philosophy. But I think you get the point. All right. Well, that was sort of my nomination, although it was phrased in a way that I'm not sure I can take credit
but
for.
You still won.
For winning. I won, but what good is winning when...
If it's only 1 category.
Right. There's that. All right. Next up, favorite objectivist on Twitter. I won 3rd place. Kirk Wilcox won 2nd place with the same amount of votes as me. So we both got 1 vote apiece. And then 1st place by a landslide, it's Mark Pellegrino. Wow. This guy. Glad you're finally getting a fair shake for those, finally getting some recognition.
Hey, you feeling like the fix is in?
I'm starting to wonder if maybe Trump was onto something with some of these voter fraud allegations. All right. Next up, we got most interesting / memorable thing we learned this year. At 0%, we've got all myths have a common ancestor. So that's at 0. And at 100%, the lesson is be direct and brief.
Yeah.
All right. Only 3 more categories to go. 3 more winners. If anyone has been sitting on some big bucks waiting for the right time to super chat, now is the time. All right. Next up, we've got favorite objectivist of the year. Coming in at 0 votes is Tal Tzfani, and wrongfully so. He deserves at least more than 0. He's, but it's not because he did anything wrong. It's because
it's
the
like
other guys are so good.
He won all these awards for Titanic last year. This year for Inception or The Wolf of Wall Street, people say, okay, I voted for you.
You know what it is? Tal is behind a lot of these things that did win. He's sort of in behind the scenes, like the Wizard of Oz or whatever the analogy is. So, then with 1 vote, we've got Greg Salmieri. That's 3rd place. 2nd place is Don Watkins. And then at 1st place at 66.6% of the vote. Wow. Shocking. Imagine my shock. It's Rosie Ginsburg in the uncooked, unobstructed voting process of this election. Congratulations on that very legitimate winning, I'm sure. I'm kidding. I'm kidding in what I'm implying. We are very happy with that. Okay, 2 more. And Ali Beard with $2 says, Mark does kick a lot of butt on Twitter, lol. Thank you for that. Any last minute super chats, better hurry up. Then we got best new entry. By the way, if anyone has any honorable awards you want to give out, last minute awards you want to give out, super chat. Go. All right. 2 more to go. Okay. Christopher Smith, thank you for the $22.99 Canadian. Over on the best new entry category, we've got the results, allegedly. At last place with 0 votes, it's Jonathan Daon. Congratulations to him, or whatever. Then at 2nd place, we've got new people to objectivism from Twitter. Wow, the fact that did not win is beyond me. That is just a great nomination. And then at 1st place, imagine my shock. The guy who sent us the voting results won. It's Daniel at 1st place with 71% of the vote. Okay, only 1 more left. And let me just say what an honor this has been. Trip down memory lane. It's been a wonderful year. I know we have more year in review type stuff coming up later in the year. But let me just say it's been an honor, and Merry Christmas and all of that. Merry Christmas, more like Mary Aline. Thank you for the super chats. All right, our favorite guest, at 3rd place with 1 vote, we've got Paul Kreider. Cider. And speaking of Mary Aline, $10 coming in hot. Thank you for that, Mary Aline. All right, an honest critic of Ayn Rand. Okay, so Paul won at 3rd place. Then at 2nd place, it's the Baroness, the politician, the probably somewhat next in line to be queen if enough people die by accident. But please do not anyone do anything to bring that about. It's Claire Fox at 2nd place with 28% of the vote. And then at 1st place is James Valiant with 57% of the vote. Same percentage that Elon was told to get the F off of the CEO seat at Twitter.
Oh, he lost that vote. I'm surprised. I didn't see the results.
It's fun. It's funny to vote against him. So many people probably just wanted to see if he would do it. So we can definitely talk more about Twitter sometime. But the Twitter party, in my estimation, is over. Thank you all for joining us today. Those are all the super chats I see. Let me just say it's been like a Christmas experience seeing all these bright colors in the chat. Thank you for that. All the greenery of the members, that's like the tree itself, and the super chats are the glittery, colorful super chats all around. Thank you all for joining us today at 7 p.m. UK time. It's the Briefly Objective premiere, Against Modern Monetary Theory book review with Alejandro. Link in the chat. That's like our parallel channel. Then at 9 p.m. UK time, it's HBTV with Harry Binswanger on the 5 schools of epistemology. Now, he is such a staple of objectivism. No one even thought of nominating him. He's like, it's almost like nominating, Leonard Peikoff for Ayn Rand. We just kind of like, they're just kind of like always in the background when talking about objectivism. So it didn't even occur to any of us to nominate him. But yeah, definitely made enormous gains, I think, on this channel, and continues to be impactful. Yes.
Random objectivist highlight of the year. I've seen Harry Binswanger falling down to do push-ups in front of me to prove to me what a Chad he is with his push-ups.
Nice, nice.
In
What
Ocon.
did he do?
What?
How many did he do?
How many did
I
he
don't
do?
remember. But his form was very good. It wasn't this fake. It was proper down, proper up, like military style push-ups.
Okay.
Cool. Mark, how many push-ups can you do? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know now. I used to be able to do about 120.
Oh, wow. I think I did like
Wait, in
12
how many
once.
sets?
One. I could do 120 in one set. Now I
Are
can
you
probably
kidding
do,
me?
I can
Consecutive
pro-
120 push-ups.
Yeah, now I probably do 70. I can do 70 now. That
You
was
can
back
do
when-
70.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I feel completely inferiority complex. What about you, Rucka?
I think I can do like 10 or 15 or something. I don't know. I don't know.
That's
how
my
many push-ups.
typical set. I do many
Yeah, I don't
sets,
know.
but
I'm not
I
like
don't...
a push-up. I'm not like a push-up, hero like Mark, but I have been training. I have been training this year. This has been a development. I'm like 6 months into this, 3 times a week with the trainer. He tortures me. He tells me, don't worry about this stuff I'm wrapping you up in and blindfolding you in. I'm not sure how this is supposed to make me more muscular, but yeah, I'm joking, of course. Yeah, no, I'm training. Hey, look, I'm trying to get us all to the same weight class, folks. When that happens, it's going to be a tournament. We're going to join the YouTube boxing scene, and we're going to bring this channel to the next level. So all of you Daily Objective and ARC hosts out there, you better be doing your push-ups because I am making gains. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you both. This was a wonderful time. Congratulations to the winner. Marilyn with $2 says, Rucka has great legs. Thank you for that. It's actually, my calves are naturally very muscular. My calves, I wasted on a heterosexual man. It's like a thing, it's wasted. This gay man once said, he said, are you gay? If not, you're going to have to explain those calves. And I said, oh man, it's too bad these calves don't like appeal to women. And he said, all women care about is the size of your wallet. So that I don't necessarily agree with his opinion. He thinks that's all women care about. I'm trying to wrap it up, but we've got a super chat from Jeff with $30 Canadian. He says, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That was a beautiful message. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Jeff.
And if no one else has any remarks about my legs or any last minute super chats, we can call it a wrap there. Thank you both. This was wonderful. Here's to another year of wonder and learning. And goodbye.
Peace.